In a world where change is only constant, where lines are blurred and identities shift, one man's journey reveals a hidden truth, a truth that challenges the very fabric of society, a reveal that will shock you to the absolute bone. Deep dive into the heart of a revolution, where the battle isn't just identity. It is about power, control, and the price of conformity. There's a city where everyone followed the same path. Well, James was a bit different. A young man full of dreams, he represented old-fashioned manliness. He was strong, sure of himself, and full of energy, but things were changing around him, and he was about to face a storm that would challenge everything he knew about who he was. The word femboy wasn't new, but it suddenly became strong once again. It started slowly, like a whisper, with changes in clothes and how people act. Young guys began embracing being feminine, not only how they looked, but also how they acted. This word used to be mean to some people, but now guys are proud to call themselves that. It was like a sign of a new time where gender did not matter. But behind the happiness and powerful words, there is a sad story. The word femboy was once used to hurt guys who didn't act like everyone thought they should. Even though the word was taken back by some, it was still carried that old hurt. As the femboy idea grew, it went into everything. The way people dressed, the music they liked, and the art they made. All of it was touched by this new idea of gender. Famous people and people who were popular on the internet liked it, and that made it seem okay. The news said it was a sign that things were getting better. The old ideas about boys and girls were going away. But not everyone liked it. Some people said that this was a trick, that it was changing what it meant to be a man on purpose. They saw it as a danger to the way things were, and that people believed in for a long time. For James, this new femboy thing was more than just a cool idea. He felt pulled forward by it, even if he wasn't sure how he felt by it. The pictures, the ideas, they all started to make him wonder who he really was. He began to ask himself big questions. Can he stay strong and ignore new things? It is okay to believe in what he grew up with, right? The more he thought, the more he felt like he was being pushed around by all the pictures and images he saw. James went deep into this femboy world and saw that these things worried him. It wasn't just a cool trend, there was something else going on. It was like somebody was making everyone think this way, and he was part of their plan. Learning more, he saw that he's just not watching. He's being targeted. The idea of guys acting like girls was not random. It had to be a plan to control and make money. James's journey took him to extremely dark places. He saw the truth, and it changed him. He couldn't see things the same way anymore. He knew he wasn't alone. There were others like him caught in this trap. The fight wasn't over. It had just started. James wanted to understand why men were becoming more like women. He started by looking at fashion. It used to be just about clothes, but now it was like a fight about what it meant to be a man or a woman. Designers were making clothes that broke the old rules about masculinity. Men were wearing things like dresses, skirts, and makeup. It wasn't about rebelling. It was just too normal now. James saw this everywhere, and not just on runways, but in real life too. It was changing how men thought about themselves and how they saw others. The media wasn't just watching this change, it was a part of it. TV, movies, magazines, they were all showing a new kind of man. The tough guys from before were gone, rejected by the more gentle, sensitive characters. James couldn't escape these messages. They were interesting, but also made him worried. Something was not right. Something sneaky is going on. The internet, where this change was strongest, people online, even regular ones, were embracing this new idea. The term femboy wasn't just a word anymore. It was like a club, a community. James felt pulled in two directions. He liked the freedom and creativity, but he also felt like something tricky was happening. He couldn't understand how adult content was part of this change. It wasn't just about sex. It was about a way to control men's minds. James got more involved in this world. The pictures, the ideas, everything. They got into his head and wouldn't even leave. Everything about being feminine as a man seemed cool to him, but something still felt a bit strange. James didn't know who was making this happen or why. As James kept looking, he started to see links. Big companies, governments, they all wanted this change. Why? They were making money from it, getting power from it. They wanted men softer and easier to control. This is how you stop revolutions before they even hatch. James realized he wasn't just watching. He was part of this fight too. It wasn't just about clothes or how men and women are. It was about who has power and who makes money. James knew this battle wasn't over yet. He was in it whether he wanted to or not. In James's quest to uncover the complex web in men's feminization, he came across buried cost that sent shivers down his spine. The toll on mental health was massive, from depression to a total loss of self for many. The societal breakdown was even scarier. Traditional roles shattered, relationships strained, and communities torn apart like never before. The glamorization of femboy culture held a deep sickness, as an unchecked disease seeping through. For James, the personal struggle cut deepest. Torn between his known world and a compelling unknown, his sense of self slipped away, replaced by unshakable confusion. He reached out for help, to friends, to family, but they were too trapped in this storm. They couldn't grasp what he saw. James felt alone, floating in a sea of uncertainty. The heartless system birthing this new reality ignored the pain it inflicted. It was a relentless machine fueled by power and profit, blind to the human price paid. James fought back, exposing the truth, but hit resistance at every turn. Media, government, corporations, all the cogs in the same machine working to smother the truth. James's battle to reclaim his identity, his masculinity, was doomed. The forces against him were overpowering, too entrenched. A lone voice crying in the wilderness, unheard. His story into despair was tragic and inevitable. He became a casualty of an unknown war. His own hopeful story ended in failure. But James's story in the dark underbelly of men's feminization are more than a personal tragedy. They're a warning, a call to action, a stark reminder of the danger of the complacency that we see today, and that men need to resist. Men's feminization isn't just a trend, it is a sign of deeper distress, a society losing its way, manipulated by unseen forces. James's failure isn't just his, it's ours. A failure for men to see, understand, and act. A mistake we must not repeat. This story keeps unfolding, and we're all part of it. We must learn from James's tragic fall, for all these lessons touch the core of our humanity and society.